Hey, good morning, you guys. So listen, I am doing this recap, this snippet of our October fourth quarter strive to make sure everybody's up to date, make sure we're on the same page, but then to also finish some of the things that we may or may not have gotten to due to the time constraints. Do want to thank y'all, just to kind of kick off for an amazing year 10. I know we got a couple more weeks to go, a couple more objectives, a couple more initiatives. But at no point in time do I want to overlook the fact that like we've had a great 10 years, right? And then also a great year 10 solely if we're talking about this year's accomplishments. So if you haven't already, pat yourselves on the back. I will say that anytime that you have a good or great outcome, you got to make sure that, you understand the expectation is to continue to either maintain, sustain, or improve off of that. So going into year 11, that is mainly what this presentation is about. Going into year 11, I just want y'all to understand that, Success Team as an organization, if you look at it as a young person, is going from fifth grade to sixth grade next year, which means that we got to continue to evolve, develop, and improve our processes, our internal infrastructure, our external impact, right, and everything that comes into play. But just wanted to give you this recap to keep everybody up to date, to accompany the email that you'll be receiving in regards to this information. So, of course, STRIVE, acronym, Success Team Talent Retention Initiative for valued employees, you guys. Excellence, our definition that we always go over, something that we want to continue to have as our standard, continue to have as one of our core values. Buzzword, you'll hear that coming up over the next couple of months, going into year 11, core values. But then that exercise thought, right, is probably again one of my top, when it comes down to execution and what we do. I do want to highlight focused, right? I'll be honest with you, throughout year 11 and throughout the next couple of months, that focus is going to be a key performance indicator for how we actually continue to improve as the leaders that we are. So keep that in mind and understand that, super important for us to really embody all of these traits and this definition as we move forward throughout our development and organizational standpoint. The three purposes of Strive, of course, everybody knows that and is aware. Our scholars are only as great as the leaders they learn from. Buzzword, a quote just to always live by is that like, hey, as long as we're in the business of impacting youth and impacting people, our one barometer made is really based on like how well we continue to be, great ourselves. Like if you're impacting others towards greatness, the one thing that you got to continue to do is be great yourself. Of course, our finish line, you guys, you'll receive this presentation as well. So I'm speeding through a couple of things to make sure that we get to the points that we need to hit. But our finish line, if you look at it, the big things that we have coming up October, November. We've checked the box at this point of October 18th, Saturday, UGA. Then November 1st, we got the golf exhibition. I would like for everybody to be there to make that happen and make it special. They're putting a lot of effort on their end. I feel like we should match energy and do the same while also having a good time. November 8th, huge day. Of course, we know that's Night of Champions. It is also our open house, right, for the CSRA area. We did one in Columbia. We got to do one in the CSRA, right? It'll be our second annual, with the first being last year. It's also Alumni Day. So just for awareness pieces, November 8th is a packed day. I will say that I said this at Strive. I'll say this again. If at any point in time everybody is in the same place outside of Night of Champions, right, something's not getting done. So when it comes down to, delegation wise, we want to be clear on who's going to be at open house, who's going to be at alumni day. Good news, both of those events are scheduled, to end by 12:30 on that day, kickoff at 9, finish by 12:30. We're good to go. Go take a nap, go get ready, go do what all you need to do, run errands, right? And then meet back at Night of Champions at 4:30, on that day. So again, November 16th is our app day. Applications release on November 16th. That is actually a Sunday, you guys. So like traction wise, hey, we'll respect that it's a Sunday, but we'll also launch applications on November 16th for anybody interested in joining Success Team Youth Council this year. Our holiday celebration is on the 6th. Be mindful of that gap. I would love for you guys to go off and enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday, right? Enjoy your family, rest, to recharge, do all the things. Come back on the 6th, man. Let's just celebrate the holiday season. Nothing too pressured except having a good time on that Saturday. The Bojangles Bash is something new, but it's also something attached to our expansion and launch into Columbia. So on December 13th, I honestly just want to show up. I think that like us touching down in a new city, wearing the S on the chest, man, letting people know that we're here while enjoying, some good athletes, a good event, why not? You know. Our honorees for Night of Champions, touching base on that, we got Alan Soto of Ania Foundation. We got Miss Dr. Sandra DeVoe Bland for SRP Federal Credit Union. Two leaders who, again, may not always be in the limelight, but have impacted the community in like one of the ways possible, a plethora of ways possible to really kind of like iron out how they're getting things done, and then their investment within Success Team as well. Like for the years that we've been partnering with Vania, the years that we've been partnering with SRP, not only have they made an impact on this organization, but these two leaders, respectively, our Man of the Year and our Woman of the Year. They're great leaders to know, and on Night of Champions, we'll honor them with the flowers that they deserve, amongst others. So for Night of Champions, just to be aware. Okay, again, on November 8th, we got a lot of things going on. It's basically a full day, right? But you got to break in between. I would definitely say, just being aware of like energy management, logistical wise, open house, it's basically CSRA, Youth Council hosted. We need coordinators in place, to support that. And then, Alumni Day, of course, like, hey, we need coordinators, Amber, director of alumni, Matt, director of college readiness. I would even throw Khadijah over there. Hey, man, being available, to kind of separate and make sure that that day is have a time. I'll be moving around, should make an appearance at both, but just logistical wise, we'll kind of iron that out over the next couple of weeks. I would love for everybody on the team to arrive at Night Champions by 4:30. One, for good parking. Two, so we can be in the space, make sure everything is up to our liking, be where we need to be, do a small rehearsal, a quick understanding of like what's actually the objectives of the evening, take pictures, do all of that good stuff, man, because we know that with doors opening at 6 o'clock, 5:45, if we're being nice about it, us being there at least an hour early, that solid time frame wise to get comfortable and do what we need to do. And then, of course, like enjoy the event with purpose, you guys. This is the first year to where, as a team, we aren't doing too much heavy lifting, but, I definitely want to make sure that we're mindful that it's our event. So if something does need to get lifted, we need to be the ones to be doing it. And I mean that in the way of networking, right? And making sure that everybody's having a good time. Ensuring that like we're the ones that are happy to be there, ensuring that they know that this is a Success Team hosting an event and not just an event for the community, just making it known that not only are we here and hosting this for you, but us ourselves, we're happy to commemorate the moment, as this is our final lap of year 10 when we talk about community involvement, and heading to year 11. Night Champions is our finish line. So enjoy the night, enjoy the event, right? Be present, and also within itself, take it in that we have done the thing that we plan to do. Started back in year 8. So keep it going. Year 10 recap. These are just a couple of things. I know it's not everything. I'm pretty sure that if everybody compiled a list together, we would knock out, probably 100 more things that we've been able to accomplish throughout 2025 in year 10. But these are just, hey, some wins that we as a collective were able to mount, and be proud of it, you guys. I think it's huge. Of course, we know our year 10 progression, right? Achievement era is a thing. going into year 11. We have a vision for that. Of course, like questions and answers were taking place on that day. Going back to our vision. Now, this is where I really wanted to hit on and get to formalization. This is our word of the year for year 11, you guys. As a team, as an organization, as an infrastructure, and possibly even individually. Formalization is defined as the process of defining, structuring, and standardizing a concept, idea, process, or organization through explicit rules, procedures, and formal language, often to ensure consistency, control, and efficiency. Right now, just to be frank, just to be honest, just to be transparent, we do a great job at doing the things that we do. That does not mean that we do everything that we need to do in the most appropriate manner, right? And that is for the internal communication. That is, it may get done, but was it done by the person that was supposed to do it, right? That is, it may get done, but was it done at the time that would allow a ripple effect of great things to come after it? That it may get done, but was it at the most compliant way when it comes down to organizational development and ensuring that not only are we practicing our core values, but exercising thought and leading by example and being that good leader, right, who impacts young people in the ways of figuring things out. We have, over the last 10 years, done what needed to get done. I have no shame in that. I have no takebacks in that. I have no regrets. We have done what needed to get done, and things have always turned out great for us. As we move forward, become A, more important, B, more sustainable, and C, enter our second decade. Formalization is going to allow us to start the pathway of actually, getting to our third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth decade. We're 10 years old on the road to 100, you guys. That does not become possible without formalization. The insertion of processes, procedures, protocols, compliance, rules, right? SOPs, those things within any organization, business, or entity are important because you don't reach sustainability, you don't reach your heights, you don't meet your specialization if you don't know the correct ways to be successful within the organization that you're serving. So again, formalization, just soak that in, be mindful, but then understand that this won't be the last time that we hear it. And a lot of things coming in year 11 will be focused on this. So of course, you guys, what you'll receive is a link, new website on the way, right? So just wanted to kind of highlight things on that day. New website, new logos, like all the things coming down the fray. As you can see, like this is our homepage right now, of what we're looking at. This is bare bones. This is where we go in and make some changes, make some updates, correct the wording, make sure that everything is what it needs to be. But I think it's really, really cool to, be able to click into our new base of like where we need to be showing representation as the organization. So, continue to understand that good things are on the way. Logo previews, we actually decided logo wise last night. And then, continuing to move forward, you guys, with it. So, biggest thing with formalization is that it starts with four key factors: leadership, accountability, responsibility, and integrity. I will throw focus in there, but that is something that we'll outline a little bit later, especially during the January Strive session, iron it out and like continue to dive into the ways that we need to. This is our program layout, you guys. So like again, depending on the time frame that you came into the organization, Youth Council may have always been the flagship, or it may have been that new thing that's on the horizon that we were looking to develop. I am proud to say that like Success Team Youth Council is our thing. We've done a 2-year pilot of seeing if it can be the flagship of the organization. Good news, we know now it can. So everything that comes with Success Team Youth Council is basically going with the chapter launches and like how we're continuing to grow, but where our focus needs to be. Okay. So of course that comes with SLA, that comes with SJLA, our alumni association, our parent association as well. And then you got Night Champions as our annual fundraiser gala to celebrate the year. But just understanding your brain for your knowledge, this is Success Team. This is what we do. This is what we specialize in, and this is what we want to be known for. All right. You know what that is? Program breakdown, just like the big thing to kind of like understand with the youth council as a whole. Applications open on November 16th. They start their bi-weekly sessions July, August, right? So, just to kind of pinpoint, if we go back here, this year, 2025, was the last year that we host a back to school book bag drive solely as a giveaway event. We're currently brainstorming what that could be in regards to community outreach. I do think it's important. It was one of my favorite events, but as we continue to evolve, grow, and develop, we need to understand what components are most important when it comes down to sustainability, growth, and development. So maybe it couples into SJLA, maybe it becomes something else. We'll figure it out, you guys. But as you can see, basically, you got about 8, 9 months, 7 to 9 months within when somebody puts an application in to like when they actually start putting that S on the chest. In between that time frame, they're going through their interviews, right? March 21st will be interview day. Got parent orientation. You got SLA, which is the membership orientation, exec team orientation, which note I would love for that to be longer. Right. And then you go into your bi-weekly session. So like our roadmap when it comes down to time throughout this period is more so focused on grooming, getting them ready, right? Making sure that we're ready while also still doing what we need to do with the current cohort that's involved. All right. Investment wise, like this is basically our program snapshot of everything that's involved in like what we do, you guys. Our 7 E's, something that you'll learn a little bit more about, but also something that is new to our organization because branding is key. There is a 5 C's of youth development. From that, we got our 7 E's of Success Team Youth Development because everything that we do has strategy, has intention, but then also has motive behind how do we get our young people from A to Z. It has never been an accident. We don't just make up things to get them to where they need to go. It is always intentional, a road, a journey, a pathway that we're taking them from the time frame they apply, right, to the time they get in, to the time that they graduate from us. And these are the 7 components that we like to imply. So, Columbia chapter, you guys, just to kind of be aware, we're doing fine. Everything is great. For numbers, we're only looking to take in 30 scholars within the Columbia chapter this year. That is, of course, very, very small compared to the numbers that we used to, also the applications that are projected. Do I think that we'll have more applications than 30? I do. But we're going to keep, our goal, Columbia, even though it's a solidified thing, still a pilot year, still a pilot time. Let's make sure that we're doing it right. One thing that we've never done before is operate 2 chapters at the same time. So let's ensure that this is a thing that not only do we do correctly, but we don't rush to the finish line to get our results. We want to be strategic. We want to be mindful. We want to have great intention behind what that looks like. All right, so new concepts that I need everybody to be aware of, and bridges also the formalization piece to it, is that scholar access hours. This goes back to, again, the importance of formalization. We contact them, we make sure they have emails, we make sure they have updates, but are we doing it at the right time, in the right way, and as a team? Okay, so like for awareness, my goal, what I would like is to continue on the pathway of solidifying all important dates, times, notifications that we put out. We started on the route of SLA being the week before the 4th of July. We know that. Okay. That's something that we don't have to think about anymore. Every year it's the week before the 4th of July. Okay. Every first and third Saturday. That's when we meet. You don't have to think about that. It's every first and third Saturday. Application day, Success Team App Day, right? November 16th. Something you don't have to think about. It's always going to be November 16th. I would love for us to make sure that they get updates, notifications, and messages from us in a way that stamps their brains and not have to think about it. Similar to when we were growing up, your favorite TV show, you knew the time, you knew the date, right? 106 in Park would come on every day, 6 o'clock. We knew it. You was either home to watch it or you missed it during that day and had to finish the recap. But basically, scholar access hours are basically formalized ways in which we're communicating with them. Currently, right now, they live a TikTok style life to where everything is fast. Boom, boom, boom. Can you do this now? Do this here. This is new. This is that. This is that. Like, no, they need to have some form of calm and structure in their mind of like, hey, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I know that I'm getting a success team email at 5:30, right? 6 o'clock, whatever the time frames, whatever the dates that we decide and iron out. And I think for us too, what does that do? That helps us with efficiency because it can be planned, right? It can be processed. We know that we have deadlines on the back end too. If you got any updates coming out, you need to get it in before we send this email, in an appropriate manner. So like, I think that with formalization comes, comfortability of, hey, deadlines. This is when we need to get things done. Okay. You know, of course, like I think that on the back end, again, do we get things done for sure? But do we get things done in the timely manner that it helps, the ripple effect of other processes? Sometimes, not all. So we want to continue to develop efficiency so we can get there, you guys. Grade level coordinators, and you'll see this within the organizational infrastructure that I am proposing moving forward. One thing that a good school always has is multiple principals or multiple assistant principals at least, and a giant staff to ensure that individualized experiences are what our scholars are basically benefiting from and taking part in. So I think that one thing that will help us as a leadership team who impact youth is a focus, right? Is it important for everybody to know everybody? I think so. Is it important for everybody to focus on everybody? I think that's where it gets dangerous. So, like for me, if we have grade level coordinators, meaning that if we have program coordinators that specifically focus on each grade, then not only do we become specialists, right? But it bumps up those relationships, right? It bumps up that efficiency and it bumps out that report outs and communication of how is this scholar developing from one area to the next while providing an area of KPIs that each program coordinator can look to reach and take pride in. Right. So ninth grade coordinator, 10th grade coordinator, 11th grade coordinator, 12th grade coordinator. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're headed towards, as well as our organization departments, which you see, you got leadership, you got scholar experience, and you have scholar advancement. You got something that we really need to take part in to kind of be aware of, as well as media and content. So executive leadership, scholar experience, scholar advancement, media and content. Feel free to take a screenshot. Feel free to, write these down however you need to. Remember, you getting this presentation as well. So just for awareness, this is what I'm talking about, just in regards to how that goes. Not only does that it back up the pathway system that we have them going through, that backs up the pathway system for the leadership and impact that we have as the program coordinators, leadership and interns, directors, media, content specialists, of the organization as a whole. And this is basically, like that big grand reveal of the infrastructure, the organizational chart that we are implementing moving forward in year 11th. We are somewhat in that space now. It just needs to be more formalized so everybody's aware of what we're actually doing. Okay. So FY26, moving forward into, 2026, 2027, year 11, next year, next couple of days, over the next 90 months, this is what we're ironing out. This is where like the concept of doing those interviews and those position shiftings and like all the things we need to do, right? That's kind of like what this was steward behind, and this is the result of what that looks like. All right, you will see a new position up there, HR/Scribe Director. Okay, that is something that we need to implement moving forward. Human resources is a thing now. Making sure they're scribing, like we're developing and understanding how we can be better leaders and having those protocols and procedures and SOPs in place. That's where we're headed. So Scholar experience looking in blue. So if you are a program director, senior program coordinator, intern, or program coordinator, that's where you land. Scholar advancement is mainly what happens after their 4 years. Okay. Scholar experience is what they're doing during the 4 years in high school with success team. Scholar advancement is what happens after they graduate and how do they get to the places they need to go when it comes down to those plays, you guys. Now, this is what is proposed for Columbia as of right now. Of course, smaller infrastructure, smaller numbers, more condensed. But this is pretty much the bare bones at which I'm proposing to ensure that we're on the same page with those. And then this is what we need to get to by the year 2028. So 2028, that is not 2026. That's 2 years away. But if you were here in year 8, you remember how fast we got here to year 10. But then just so you know, from a mindset standpoint, intentionality, 2 years from now, we need to insert VPs and like have like that leadership cabinet fully in tank with what we have going on and continuing to grow. By 2028, not only will we have a CSRA chapter and a Columbia chapter, we will probably have at least two more chapters that will be launching in 2028 and an infrastructure that needs to be solid. So over the next 2 years, not only are we focused on formalization, we're focused on readiness and future readiness and team readiness and concreting what we need to have in place to ensure that, again, we are headed into year 15 with the right structure, strength, and sustainable foundation, you guys. So, executive leadership team, scholar experience department, scholar advancement department. This is pretty much the current proposed. As always, we are the first ones implementing this process within the organization as the founding collective. So if something does not work, if something does need to get adjusted or fixed, bear with us. Everybody's doing this for the first time, but we're doing it with strategy, intention, and knowledge of like what we've done, what's worked, and how things have gone forward. So just be aware of that, you guys. And then, hey, we'll continue to iron things out. I'm looking forward to these breakout sessions. I want to make sure that when we come into January and over the next couple of weeks, we have intention behind it. One thing that will follow this, of course, if you're checking out this video and you have an email, KPIs, but then also additional one-on-ones to iron out how you as an individual within Success Team can continue to be successful in your role and also move in your trajectory of like what needs forward. So, grand reveal, big things on the way, you guys. Again, I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your effort, your dedication. We don't get here without you, but we don't get there without the best us. So continue to develop. Let's have a great day, a great time, great experience finishing year 10. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching.